Aloha! Welcome back to the Anxiety Coaches Podcast. I'm your host and coach, Gina Ryan, and I'm so happy to be with you again today as we consider the many ways to bring your mind and body back to its natural peace and calm. In today's episode, I'm talking about feeling the feelings. This is actually a hidden key to healing your anxiety. And I know it's kind of a tender thing to talk about because we hear that phrase all the time. Feel your feelings. Feel it to heal it. But I wonder if when you hear that, you actually pay attention to it and acknowledge your feelings, or does hearing that bring up some resistance? So today's conversation isn't about judgment or pushing you into discomfort. It's about lightening the load that you've been carrying, maybe without even realizing it. Yeah, unseen weight that we carry can be our feelings. They can be heavy. And most of us don't learn this early on, that when we don't allow ourselves to feel our feelings, those emotions don't just disappear. They get tucked away. They go into the unconscious. They go into the body, and they start to take up space. We may not even realize it's happening. We get on with our lives. We function, we smile, we do our best, we white knuckle, we get through. But somewhere underneath it all, we feel off. We feel restless. We feel anxious. We can't quite put our finger on it, but something isn't right. That something is often unprocessed emotion. It can be fear, it can be anger, grief, shame, resentment, all the so-called unacceptable feelings that we learn early on in our life to hide, to push away, to completely ignore. So it's important to understand how emotions affect the mind and the body. When we push down emotions, we actually shift our internal chemistry. Our emotions affect the brain and the body and cause real, measurable changes, such as the change in how your blood flows, changes in your hormones, which you are familiar with if you have been to this show more than once. Cortisol and adrenaline rise. Muscles change. We get a change in our muscle tension. Breathing changes, becomes shallow. Digestion slows. That's why you get the gurgling in the belly or butterflies in your belly. And your sleep suffers. All of this is changed inside of us, our internal chemistry, from our emotions. And we might think, well, why am I having these symptoms? Often we don't make the connection. We have a racing heart or dizziness, digestive issues, numbness, headaches, derealization, feeling out of your body, whatever. You have these things and you wonder, why am I having these things? Often it's not because something is, quote, wrong with you. It can be your body trying to get your attention. It can be your nervous system saying, there is something here that wants to be felt. This is why anxiety can seem to move in the body, from your chest to your stomach to your skin. It's your nervous system trying different ways to speak up. And this is extremely evident when you talk to people who have had anxiety for a long time. They can tell you how it moved around their body. And it can also be such a wake-up call to realize that this is happening, because then when it switches from one to the other, you can begin to relax, like, oh, this isn't about me having an ulcer. My digestive issue has completely stopped, but now I have headaches. It can be a wake-up call to, is there something else? Is there something here that wants to be felt? Obviously, you will take all of your physical and emotional distresses and problems that need to be addressed to your healthcare workers and have everything checked out you need to have checked out. But how many times have people come to me? They have had every test in the book. They have been going through this, and they can dig deeper, but often on the surface level of health and wellness, they don't have signs or symptoms of a disease. It is their body speaking. And that's okay for us to work on. And even if you do have a, quote, disease, a diagnosis, you can also still be working on this. There's something here that wants to be felt, because these can be in conjunction. Let your nervous system speak to you, but don't bury it. Don't push it down. It's okay for you to feel it, to pay attention to it. Take note of it in a journal. What if we stopped seeing anxiety as the enemy and actually started to seeing it more as a messenger, a wake-up call from your inner world asking you, can we feel this now? I believe it's episode 266, I had Steve Ozanich on the show, and he spoke a lot about Dr. John Sarno's groundbreaking work on back pain and how physical symptoms often stem from suppressed emotions. It's a great episode if you care to go back and listen to that. That work doesn't just apply to pain. It is deeply connected to our anxiety, our panic, and even depression. And I know that Dr. Sarno's work uncovered that further along too. It's very, very interesting. We are not different compartments. We are one organism that is, everything is affected by our thinking, by our actions, by everything that we do in our life. Many people, even those taking medication, still find themselves searching for lasting relief, because the medication can ease the symptoms, but it can't always bring us into the connection with what's underneath, the emotional roots waiting to be seen and felt. So think about that. If you have hit a wall with your medication that you are using, perhaps it can be a call for you to go deeper, to see and feel what is underneath. And why is it that we avoid the feelings? Because it's very common. It makes perfect sense when you think about it, that we would avoid uncomfortable feelings. We're often taught directly or subtly that emotions like sadness or anger or fear are, quote, too much, that they're a burden, that they make us weak. Maybe you've learned some of these things in your lifetime. So, of course, we would resist mindfulness and meditation, because when we do slow down and sit down and are mindful, guess what rises up? All of those old buried emotions. And depending at the speed or the timing when they come up, they bubble up through us, through our unconscious. It can feel overwhelming, but we can make a shift. You don't have to eliminate those feelings when they bubble up. You don't have to fix them. You only need to feel them, to actually acknowledge them, that they are existing, that they are there. Let them be a part of your experience, just like a wave passing through. Let it be there. Let it pass through, versus trying to push that wall of water back. So let's look at the many ways this can be connected inside of us. Here's the loop that many of us have inside of us. We have unconscious fear or anger, and this can cause physiological changes in the brain and body that we talked about earlier, which can lead to physical symptoms of anxiety and panic, which trigger more psychological distress, like fear of the fear, OCD behaviors, avoidance, isolation. So we can see how this cycle keeps going. I talk about it often as the fear, adrenaline, fear cycle. This is it elaborated a little bit more. Again, we have an unconscious fear or an anger, and it causes us physiological changes in our brain and body with our hormones, which leads to physical symptoms of the anxiety and panic, which trigger more psychological distress, like the fear of the fear, or the OCD, the avoidance, isolation, and so on. And this keeps the cycle going. But when we introduce awareness into this cycle, everything changes. When we recognize, oh, this is a feeling that I've been carrying, we interrupt that loop. We stop fueling the fire. We soften into a place where we can heal. So here are some gentle, hopefully compassionate steps to help you begin this process. First up, pause. Pause and notice the next time you feel anxious, and ask yourself, what am I feeling beneath the surface? It might be sadness, it might be anger, it might just be a tightness that you don't have words for, and that's okay. You don't need the language for it. Just notice that it is there. Acknowledge that there is a feeling. Number 2 is to name it if you can, because putting words to feelings is like turning on the light in a dark room. It's a way of saying, I feel something uncomfortable, and this is a powerful act of mindfulness. So name it if you can, even if what you say is, I feel something. Many people don't even want to go there. But this is a way out. We can't keep collecting all of these emotions and keep them stored inside us and not expect to have physical or emotional distress from this. We're too full. Third, I want you to let it be. Don't push it away. Breathe with it. Let it rise. Let it be there. You don't have to solve it, or you don't need to fully understand it. This is not meaning that you have to go and write about it so you can understand it, or go into a session with a therapist or a psychiatrist to unravel it. At this point, all you need to do is allow it. We want to let the emotion, the feeling be, even if it's uncomfortable. And number 4, I want you to move gently. Let your body express what the emotion cannot. Maybe you want to stretch or sway or take a slow walk, or let the energy release through shaking or punching a pillow or hitting some balls against the ball wall. Whatever it is, move and let it be gentle in the way that you are not harming yourself or others, of course. Let it be a way that you can see yourself letting it rise up and out. And again, like I've talked about before, talk to a safe person. You can have a friend or family member, therapist, and you can just have them hear you. You need to be witnessed. If you don't have a witness, put it in your journal, but don't put it in your journal as a way of conquering it or a way of unpacking it to fix it and make it better. Just make it a brain dump, a feeling dump, if you will. Just put it on the paper, throw it away, burn it, or save it for another day. You decide. But you want to be heard. You want someone or something to say, even if it's yourself saying after you have journaled, yes, geez, that sounds hard. I hear you. That alone can be incredibly healing. And the real freedom comes not from fixing yourself. It's in feeling your life, all of it, even the messy parts, especially the messy parts. And I have news for you. We all have messy parts. Because once you stop running from your emotions, you stop running from yourself. And in that stillness, in that sacred pause, the healing begins. I want you to know you are doing brave work here. Simply by being here, coming here and listening, and by being willing to feel, you are already on the healing path. So until next time, I want you to be gentle with yourself. You are not alone, and you are very much loved. And now for today's quote. What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size. And that's from Carl Jung. I'll be back in a few more days with another podcast. Until then, be well and aloha.